us is interesting to see our history. Like Luisa say, Portugal Social Innovation, it is a public services. We started in 2040, and in the developing of the services and the implementing of the projects, we have the need to introduce in one platform some informations. In the framework of 2020, it is more related with social impact bounds, but it's not only the reason. We try to share with projects and learn with them to the perspectives they have about the costs, what it is a cost related with the public services, with what it is a cost related with a project execution, and so on. And we have that platform in the beginning. This is the image you see of the first edition. We can say like that, the first edition of OneValue.
Maria João,
Yes.
we are only seeing the first slide. It's not in presentation mode. If you can change.
Oh, sorry. I try it again.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes, it is in presentation mode.
Yes, it is.
And now I'm in the next, or no?
Showing the two platforms, the PT 2020 version and the actual version.
And this, you're seeing now?
In the same slide?
In the say, yes. The first version of OneValue you are seeing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the history of OneValue. That's why for us it is very important to share with you the learned lessons we have to changing the organizations and the framework and so on. The first version of OneValue, we only have we have these dimensions too, like we have today with social protection, education, health, employment, and training and justice. This is big. We choose these dimensions because it is the main themes that our projects develop the innovations initiatives. But in the content of this platform, in the first version of the platform, we have only the costs and some indicators. We don't have the explanation about the cost, explanation about the social policy, and so on. I'm changing, Luisa?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And we introduce some changes in the for comparing for the first version, because we have a growing demand for accountability and public spending. The projects have some difficult to have to manage the budgets of the projects if they introduce human resources only and other functions spendings and so on. And that in the end, that discussion is very interesting because we have that measure in the public services, and we try to put that ideas in the OneValue too. We have this in Portugal. This is it's very important to say this. This is a version related with the public services in Portugal. Each country have different levels, different policies, but in Portugal, our costs, mainly costs, are public. In different frameworks, in different legislations, in different reports, but the main costs from to develop the public services are, and that's why we have this fragmented information in social security institutes, for example, in health institutes, in justice, and we try to put together and related with the public services related with our projects. Okay? Okay. And another motive we try to change in this version, it is the difficult to translating impact and policy decisions. Normally, the projects don't understand the accountability and the need to have a budget, well done budget, because if, for example, if we have the desire to scale the projects and to introduce in the end in the public policies, they needed this accountability. And this decisions is very important since the beginning of the burning of the projects. And that's why we try to put in a simple way in the OneValue the informations to sensibilize the projects what it is important to consider in that budgets, in that financial execution, and so on. We needed to have a very clear and synthetic information related with public policy. What we see in the ongoing implementation program, it is the initiative things, for example, it is very innovative projects because in the territory they don't have that project, but it's not so innovative. It is, of course, it needed to be implemented. It need to be they have to have the innovation, but it's very interesting to see what public policies is very near, like a sister or a brother of the projects and the ideas of the projects. And we tried this platform, put the main public policies together. It's very interesting to the project, see what health are doing, what social security are doing, the justice and so on. We try to synthesize that information regarding the areas of the projects. And this work, it is only possible because we have a focal points with strategic decisions, and we have a work together with the main areas of the government, like I told you. And we try to put in together these ideas. And the Luisa told us, the main purpose of this platform, it is open access to organized information and public investments in some priorities in Portugal. That's why it's so important to update always this platform. This platform is not ending. Is not a hand, but it is a beginning to introduce another public policies. We're changing the government, for example, they create another policies we needed to introduce, or changing the name, or changing, for example, the costas, because we all years we have a changing of the costas, and it's very different related with the changing of the government too, because we have a national budget normally different, and so on. The areas, like I told you, social protection, the education, health, employment, and justice. And the objectives, Luisa said too, it is to have 1 point of the information, qualitative and quantitative information about public policies, to be clear, accessible, and evidence-based, of course. and enables this platform enables stakeholders to identify and quantify major social challenges in Portugal, understanding how public investments are allocated across social policies areas and vulnerable areas to stimulate innovations and impact assessment, including a potential of public policy saving. Sorry. I change it? Yes, Luisa. Yes.
Yes.
The key benefits are this, like I told you, bring together the costs, but we could have discussions and understandings about the areas and why it's very important these areas to solve the social problems, to support the development of social interpartnership and social innovation projects, to improve the traditional solutions in terms of efficiency and effectiveness, informs the decisions and assess of outputs, outcomes and impact indicators and related targets. Related with the indicators, we are trying to changing across a year because we only have 4 or 5 indicators. I will show you a print screen, but we have only 4 or 5 indicators, and we try to changing, for example, in some period we can put migrations, in another period we can put people with disability, always regarding the areas and always regarding the public we are intervention, the vulnerable groups. It is very important to support results-based contracting models because one instrument we have it is social impact contracts, and these instruments are related with the savings of the government in that when implementing these projects, and we needed that evidence in one checkpoint like OneValue show us. And of course, this the approach of OneValue are, like I told you, it is related with vulnerable groups, and we try to put the principal measures we have in public policy related with to combat the social problems. And the social problems could be enormous list. This is only some ideas because our projects in the framework 2020 and the framework the current framework trying to introduce solutions to combat social problems, and this platform use the measures we have to combat that social problems in the public systems, like I told you. And sorry, we try to explain this rationale, what we learn about the first versions of OneValue. I don't work in Portugal social innovation when the first platform was defined and conceived, and but of course the persons who work in this share with me lesson learns. And when I create the architecture of OneValue, I try to put some that necessities they have in all the measures we have content and think in the platform. And the conceptual foundations, it was to respond social challenges translated in public policies, the focus on areas of our projects, align with the priorities of European Union and another organizations. We are, for example, aligned with Sustainable Development Goals, evidence use to support learning, because it is the main objective, main goal of this platform, but not only for learning, to comparison and decision making. And the evidence are structured in to describe and contextualize all the measures. The indicators, I will show you the screen, but we have the describing of the measure, the indicators, the costs, and the conceptual and structure categorization about across social policies domain. We align with policy priorities, because like I told you, we always needed to update the platform if the government create another policy, for example, or change any policy, existing policy, to try to comparability and clarify the measurement, reliability, traceability, and validation, because we needed to validate this information, and continuous updating and methodological transparency. All the informations we have in the platform are in official legislations and in reference documents. Some indicators are administrative and policies sources. We have that possibility to. Is very, very important to be validated with competence public entities, and updates the changes we made across the time and or across the needs. We have like a programs to incentive innovation, but across to the needs of the public policies. It is a combining intention to needed to update. And the organization, the structure, it is related with the framework of the public policy context, general reference about indicators, the priority public policy themes, and the explanation of the costs. And this part, it is more complex. We are always changing the words and the sentences to try more clarify, because it is very important for us to be very clarified. But this area, it is very, very, very complex, because it is completely different across the measures. I will show you some examples.